What is going on, everybody, man? We are around the water cooler, man, and we talking about it tonight, man. Is there urgency in year 3 for Auburn and Coach Hugh Freeze? Let's talk about it right after we drop the intro. Let's go.
You are now tuned in to Water Cooler Talks, covering everything you love about college football, especially everything going down in the SEC Conference. So, if you love college football, you need to lock in. And now, your hosts, Nick Frazier and Marcus Fitzpatrick.
Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, man, thank y'all so much for rocking with us around the water cooler tonight, man. My name is Nick Frazier, and the other person you see him here, tell him who you are, boss man.
Marcus Fitzpatrick. Let's go. Let's get it.
Ladies and gentlemen, man, we thank y'all so much for rocking with us around the water cooler, man. And as you know, we here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Fridays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 Eastern Time, man. Thank y'all so much for joining us around the water cooler, man. And as always, we got our guy with us, man. He's become a fan favorite, ladies and gentlemen. Tez is in the building. What's going on, Tez? How you feeling, man?
Yes.
What's happening, people? What's happening?
Sir. He is quickly becoming a fan favorite around these parts. Shout out to our guy Tez for coming through, man. Part of the Sharp
In the building.
come and chill with us because he's an Auburn fan. He's just like us. He's family.
He's family.
Absolutely.
Family. He's family.
Family.
Wow. You know what it is, man. We appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us here around the water cooler, man. Thank y'all so much. Before we get into it, man, as always, make sure you follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Water Cooler Talk. Make sure you follow us on Facebook at the Water Cooler Talk Podcast on Facebook. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at CoolersPod23, trying to increase our social media engagement as well. And of course, man, subscribe, like, and share the video and hit the notification bell. When you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell so you know when we post, when we go live, and so you can come in and come around the water cooler with us as well, man, because we do a lot of lives. We do a lot of lives. So we appreciate y'all so much, man. Thank you so much again. We appreciate you, man. So fellas, we are here. As you can see as you saw from the thumbnail, you saw Hugh Freeze on there like that, and he was saying urgency in year 3. So fellas, let's just get into it. Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. Is there urgency in year 3 for Auburn and Hugh Freeze? And if so, how much urgency does Auburn have? Or does Auburn need? Or does the Auburn fan base have for Hugh Freeze to win this year in Auburn? What y'all thinking? Y'all have the floor.
It's obvious. I think every Auburn fan feels the same way. With the recruiting class he brought in, with the talent that he had even last year to up to now, he don't win. I think the writing's on the wall for that guy.
Ooh, so are we saying? Wait. So are you suggesting that if Hugh Freeze does not win this year, and when we say win, okay, hold up, what is win? What is a number? Because we have all given numbers. What is a number that he has to hit this year to win? Yeah, what is your number? Let's go there.
Realistically, I say 9.
9 to keep his job?
Yep, 9 to keep his job. As an Auburn fan, it got to be 10 or better for real. Because I want to make the playoffs with all this new talent.
That's very lofty there, man. That's lofty.
I just want to make the playoffs with all this new talent that we got. But honestly, to keep his job, I say 9.
Okay. All right. Tez, what you thinking, man? How do you feel? How important, how urgent is this season for Hugh Freeze and for Coach Hugh Freeze and this Auburn football team? And the same question. What is your number for Hugh Freeze this year?
It's urgent.
Okay.
It's as urgent as it's ever been.
Okay.
To go a step further, I think it's urgent for the entire state of Alabama, if you get what I'm saying. This year is.
Okay.
Number for Hugh Freeze. In order to keep his job, I think he just bowl game, 7 games. I think keeps his job, but it's gotta look different. Offensively, it can't look like it did last year. situational football can't look like it looked last year.
Mm-hmm.
If it looks like it's getting better, then I think he'll get some leeway. But if it looks like we're making the same mistakes offensively, yeah, it may not look good. But I say 7 games. 7 games.
7 games. 7 games.
Keep him his job.
Keep him his job. All right. So here's where I land on this. I think this season is super, super urgent for Hugh Freeze and Auburn. I think it's a very super urgent season. First off, you acquired a lot of talent in the past 2 cycles. A lot of talent. You went out in the early part of the transfer portal within the first 4 or 5 days of the portal being open, and you went out and got the quarterback that you wanted. All right. Can't have any more excuses going on now about we don't have talent and that we throwing the ball to the wrong team. You can't be having that, having the quarterback throwing the ball to the wrong team. Can't be having that no more now. All right. Do I think Hugh Freeze calls plays this year? We'll talk about that later on this week, ladies and gentlemen. That's another topic this week we'll talk about. Let's not get into that one all the way. But how urgent is this for Hugh Freeze? I'm kind of in line with you, Tez. I think to keep his job, I think 6 games will keep him his job, which is a bowl game.
Oh, it's so low.
No, it's not low. It's not low. I just think a bowl game. I think making a bowl game will keep him his job because that's progress from this previous season, even though he regressed from the first year he was there and they actually did make a bowl game. So I see where you come from with 7 games. I understand that. But I think making a bowl game this year keeps him his job. In order for there to be optimism going forward, I'm with you, Marcus. I think you have to win 9+ games. I think you have to. In order for him, it's separate. I think it's 2 separate things. To keep his job, he has to win a bowl game. So 6, 7 games. Win 6, win 7 to make it a bowl. You 7-5. Okay. For people to be optimistic and to still be behind him going forward for the next however many years he's here, he got to win 9+. Damn, they got to be a playoff contender team in order for people to be optimistic going forward. Yeah. That's where I see it. So I'm in between. Like if he hits 8 games, I think he's safe. If he hits the bowl game, I think he's just right on the cusp of like, all right, you made it another season. You get that extra year. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what happens next. If he win 9+, I think he good. I think he good at Auburn for at least another 2 years. At least another year.
I got a question for you, Dad.
Okay.
So what if he wins 6 games?
Okay.
But in the games that we lose, it's because of poor defense. Offense looks great.
Defense
great. Defense looks bad.
Hold on. Let me ask you this question though, Tez. Is Bama one of those 6 games he wins?
Put Bama in there. Yeah.
Okay, so you saying offense looks good.
Offense looks good. Offense looks like Hugh Freeze offense.
But the defense regress.
Defense regresses. Does that keep his job?
Yes.
Yes. If Bama is one of the games he wins, yes, I definitely think
the reason why he keeps his job because that's what he was brought in here to do.
Right.
Yeah.
He was brought in here. He was brought in here to be an offensive guy. So if people can see that the offense is working at its peak efficiency for majority of the season, and let's just say they have a low 1 game, maybe 1 or 2 games, but out of the 12-game season, 10 of those games, the offense is working at peak efficiency. People gonna be like, "That's what we hired you for. We hired you for that." Because if they're like, "All right, if the defense is bad, if the defense is regressing, at least the offense can score. We can score our way out of it. We got optimism. We got faith that you gonna go down the field. You gonna call some plays. You gonna scheme something up to where it's gonna get us in the position where we can score." Right. So yes, I think if the offense looks great, but the defense regress, yeah, he good. He good money. He good money.
Does Durkin lose his job then?
If the defense regress, I don't think after year 1. I don't think after year 1. But if it does, if it's a 2-year period, if it happens 2 years in a row, then you'll probably start hearing some rumblings. So I put up a poll on YouTube today, this morning, and I said, "How urgent and crucial is year 3 for Auburn and Coach Hugh Freeze?" Like, the answers you have were not urgent, somewhat urgent, neutral, or very urgent. We got 14 people that voted. All right. 86% of those 14 people said it's very urgent. So basically, a little over 12 people said it's very urgent that this year is a crucial year, an urgent year, crucial for Hugh Freeze and Auburn University.
Right.
It tells you how the fan base is thinking. Well, a very small part, because there's only 14 people, but that's still 14 people said, out of the 14, 12 said very urgent.
Right. I feel like it is.
So are y'all not neutral on this season? Can anybody sit here and give me a logical explanation as to why we should feel neutral about this season?
Nah. No. This year 3 recruiting class at the top of the line, NIL is in full effect. It's time to put up a shut up, bro. You got to do something. We got to see something.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's take a look at Go ahead, Ted. You good?
No, I was about to say, plus the timing of what's going on in the state. I feel like 9 wins for Hugh Freeze this year sets off a chain reaction of events.
Hold that thought, Tez. Hold that thought. I was gonna come
back. That's why I said that.
Hold that thought, Tez. Hold that thought. Let's take a look at the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We appreciate y'all. Auburn Dad for life. War Eagle, my guy, what's going on? JT, Jonathan Taylor, what's up, man? War Eagle to you, man. He said, what's at stake? His coaching job, obviously. Woo, man, I tell you. King Richard, what's going on? King Richard, War Eagle to you, man. Auburn Dad for life. What at stake? It's his life, freedom, the pursuit of happiness. Shout out to Auburn Dad, bro. That's the comment right now. Shout out to Auburn Dad, man.
You go to prison?
King Richard said, if he can't do it this year with this talent, he should never be a P4 coach again. That's an interesting topic. That's interesting. If he can't do it with this talent, does Hugh Freeze deserve to be a P4 coach in the future at a different school? Or should he just go back to the G5 level? Interesting, man. Y'all,
in my mind, I wanna comment. Are we gonna say this for a different segment, or we get to speak on that now?
Yeah, we're gonna say that for a different segment because we got Ted's point that I want to go back to. Right. And then we're gonna go back. We're gonna come back to that. I want to get through the comments. I want to get through all the good people that's in the comment with us, man. Shout out to Chris Causey. What up, Chris? What's going on, man? Hope everything goes good with you, man. What up to you? What up to you, Richard? He said, Marcus, your background tough. That's what they saying, man.
Appreciate it.
Said they going into space with Tez, man. Now you first playing. Now they said you going into space. Shout out to that. War Eagle, man. War Eagle guys. Shout out to that guy C Hall, man. C Hall in the building. What you guys think? Are you talking about Chris Murray, who's the end? If that's who you're talking about, Chris Murray is the end. I like Chris Murray. I think he's gonna be a good veteran depth piece. Very strong at the point of attack. When he gets his hands on you, he's a very strong guy. Very deceptively quick as well. I like him. We'll see what happens moving forward with him. Does he come in and does he start at the other side? I don't think so. I think he's definitely going to be in the rotation because he adds that veteran leadership in the room. Chris Murray does because after Keyron Crawford and after Keldrick Falk, you don't really have a lot of veteran depth that actually got real playing time. So you getting the guy that came from Sam Houston State that did play last year. And I think he had like 7 sacks, if I'm not mistaken, last season. I think his best game was against UTEP. It was either against UTEP or New Mexico State was his best game. Dude is really good. Dude's really good at the point of attack. Deceptively quick. But a good death piece. For Auburn going forward, man. Excited to him. Shout out to Sharpshooters Podcast. Be sharp. Not saying those words, but it is what it is.
Definitely.
King Richard, 9+ wins is what King Richard said. That's what he said. 9+ wins. JT never would say that, Sharp. Hey, I feel you, man. Sharpshooter said 3 wins. All right, man, get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here, man. Get out of here. Roll, tears, roll. Yes, that's what I'm talking about, Auburn, Dad. That's what I'm talking about. Man, okay. All right, let's just go through those. Shout out to our guy, Rodney Williamson, man. What's up, man? What's up? I've been seeing Rodney in the chat.
Oh, yeah. He always posts.
Yeah, he was in the chat. He came in late on one of our last lives. He was like, "What's up?" from Bruton, Alabama, and I put it up, but I wanted to make sure he got up because I always see him pop in the chat, man. Shout out to Rodney Williamson, man. We appreciate you so much for coming around the water cooler, rocking with us, man. We appreciate you, man. Barando Treywick, am I saying that right? Shout out to Barando Treywick. Am I saying that right?
Shout out.
Yeah, I think so.
You, my guy. 7 or 8 wins, 7 or 8 more than that is the stretch, especially with recruiting he's doing. Woo! All right. Look who back in the chat, y'all. My guy, Fresh Bowl from Birmingham. So he's saying 2026 is really the year. Now, if you go in line with what Coach Hugh Freeze has said, he said he needed 3 classes, and I don't think he counted the first class. So basically, he's saying this 2026 class that he's getting in, after that, he should be where he wants to be with layering talent and going forward where he wants to be at. So maybe you may be on to something there, Fresh Bowl. Shout out to you, my guy. Auburn Dad said Bama over this year is proof. Bama over this year is proof without saving. Bama done. Auburn only can go up, but it's been painful to be honest. Yeah, it has been. It has been. Yeah, I agree with you. Hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell here, man. We appreciate y'all, man. 8 wins next year. He's staying. Yeah. First year he was busy recruiting. Okay. All right. Yeah, we agree with that. So maybe that's the reason why he doesn't count that first year, that first 2022 class. He just had to get bodies in. We done because we won 9 games for a guy who has not had the job for a full year. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. All right. Hit like but hit. Yes, appreciate that, Rodney, man. We appreciate you, man. Auburn Dad, it's D isn't work for the coach who replied Bear. Bear, it definitely won't work for one replacing Saban. Okay. All right. Rodney Williamson, what kind of man? It's a poll, POLL, not POL. It's a poll. That's what it is. JT said added urgent for him. Okay. All right. Auburn Dad said very urgent as well. Oh, snap. Look who in the chat. Shout out to Connie. What's up, Connie, man? We appreciate you, man. She said very urgent. He's not it, y'all. War Eagle. Ooh.
So he's not it.
So, Connie, are you not on the Hugh Freeze train? Are you not on the Hugh Freeze? Ooh, okay.
Hey, I respect that, Connie. I respect that, Connie.
Right up underneath that, the king of the comments said Hugh Freeze sucks. That's what I'm saying, man. Shout out to all y'all, man. The Auburn family in here, man. We appreciate y'all, man. Yeah, I saw that earlier today, man. I think I retweeted that on Twitter today, Auburn Dad. Shout out to that, man. Praying great. That's good to hear, man. Praying that everything's going well, man. I think I saw that, and I want to say I retweeted that earlier today, man. Shout out to that, man. Congrats. Yes, man. That's what I'm saying. Great to hear. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hold up. Let's see what Ismi got to say. What is at stake? Percentage of losing seasons in a row. That is true, because if this is a losing season, this would be what, 5 in a row for Auburn?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man. He need to get it. He need to get me 9 or 10 of them W's, or he got to go. Ooh, okay. Alabama dynasty over. Auburn's just starting. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Y'all in the Kool-Aid over here, man. All right, it's me. Go on somewhere, man. Let's see. I ain't gonna cap. I want some Kool-Aid right now. Shout out to JT, man. Thank y'all. Shout out to all y'all in the comments, man. We appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us here, man. All right, so Tez.
Yeah.
Right before we went to the comments, man, you was making a point. Go ahead, restate that point, man, because we got to expound on that. We got to expound.
No, I just think that 9 wins, and with the state of the other program in Alabama, 9 wins puts Auburn in a position to kind of take over the state. To be honest,
okay,
they're already dominating with in-state recruiting. Their program is, I'm not gonna say it's in flux because they still got a lot of talent, but this is in the last 17 years, this is the worst we've seen them, the most vulnerable we've seen them. And I feel like if we can get to 9 games, with one of those games being that one in Tuscaloosa, yeah, the balance of power will shift or begin to shift within the state.
See, the way you feel about this coming season is the way I felt about the Iron Bowl last year.
Right.
Like, I felt that if Hugh Freeze was going to make a statement, an early statement at least, in recruiting in this state, even though this past in the 2025 class, you signed 8 of the top 10 guys in the state of Alabama State in-state at Auburn. The other 2, one went to Ohio State, the other one went to Oregon.
Yeah.
So the other 8 ended up at Auburn. I felt that way about the Iron Bowl last year. I said that if Hugh Freeze was able to go into Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa and win that game, it would change the dynamics of the state as it did in 2008 when Alabama got Julio. And things changed then. That's how I felt it would be. Maybe this season is the catalyst. Maybe I was a game early. Maybe this is the year that happens.
But that happen, I don't mean to cut you out, Nate, but for that to happen, we got to assert some type of dominance. And going back to Tez's point, that starts with that 9 wins. Like, for us to take that throne and run with it, we have to show everybody, show the world, just not Alabama, that we're here to stay. Like, that means we have to, it has to be convincing. Like, we can't be coming in and struggling in those games. We have to actually, like, we have to look fluent, if you get what I'm saying. The offense has to look fluent. The defense has to look fluent.
Which brings me back to a point that Tez brought up earlier. He said, how do those wins look as well? So if Auburn is struggling, if Auburn is still only struggling to score 21, 22 points a game against similar competition, but they're winning, they win 8 games. Are you still optimistically encouraged by Auburn going forward with Hugh Freeze as the head coach?
It depends on if Hugh Freeze is. It depends on how the game, the situational football of the game that gets us the win. If Hugh Freeze looks competent and I can see him calling plays to the talent that he has, yes, I can, because that's all I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting to see him get out of his stubborn mindset of, I'm gonna just call my plays and it's gonna work.
Right.
So if he ends up catering the offense or catering his schemes, offense and defense, to the players that he has and gets those 8-9 wins, because we came in thinking that our offense was going to look a certain way and it doesn't happen, then you actually see a good coaching job from Hugh Freeze.
Tez, you got anything to say to that?
Yeah, I think yeah, it's kind of what Marcus said. When you look at this season, right, you had the Cal game where we had 3 turnovers. You know, we don't have them. That game looks impressive. It doesn't look like a struggle. The Oklahoma game, up until the very end of it, it didn't look like a struggle.
Exactly.
Missouri, we was winning that game handily. We looked like the better team until we didn't.
Yeah.
You know, so he's got to fix that. You know, he's got to fix that. As much talent he's got to fix that part of it. And I think fans will be satisfied with that. If we win the games we're supposed to win, we'll be satisfied with that. We're competitive against Georgia. That's a game that I feel like our quarterback played well enough to win until he didn't. Our defense, you know, they played okay. You know, we got to fix those games. If we win the games we're supposed to win and win those handily, you know, it's a different season. It's a different feeling. So I think that's what he's got to fix. It's got to look like Mark said, it's got to look like we dominant. We have to look like a playoff team, even if we aren't.
Exactly. That's my point, Tez. We have to look the part.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what makes Auburn look like a playoff team then? What is it? Like what does Hugh Freeze need to do? I know you mentioned earlier situational game management,
right?
But what does Auburn need? Like what else is there? Like will the talent that's been accumulated so far, the Eric Singletons, the Horatio Fields, those guys, the Darrell Robinsons, the Xavier Chaplins, is that the fix? Because what we saw last year with Hugh Freeze and his offensive staff in certain situations was poor game management, poor clock management, and poor situational football with less talented. Well, let me not say less talented, but what some people will say would be considered to be a less talented roster than what we have seen so far. So, are you more optimistic now that he has what is considered to be more talented players, that he's going to be better in those situations?
We hoping with growth. I'm really hoping with growth and experience in time. But before we get too far, Nick, you asked how I feel like he can do that. King Richard posted a comment, and if you put it up, he said if we go 8-4 with 4 losses, need to be 1 score and look like we belong. That's how you do that.
Okay.
That's how you put the world on notice right there.
So basically, you need to be those 4. What he's saying that is those 4 losses. Auburn needs to be a field goal, a touchdown, a field goal type game. It needs to come down to a drive, is what you're saying. The game needs to be competitive for 3 quarters, 3.5 quarters.
Exactly.
We need to look like South Carolina looked this year.
So basically, progressively get better throughout the season,
right? And be competitive in the losses.
Okay.
It looks like we're trying to win instead of trying to lose. It looked like we were trying to lose games this year.
This is what I say. Hugh Freeze, you don't need coaching miscues. We can deal with player miscues, but we're tired of seeing coaching miscues. We're tired of knowing as fans what to do and you're not doing it.
Right.
Like going back, nigga, I've been going back to this for a minute. You should not, as a fan, last year, you should not have been able to predict how we were going to lose and blow a game. It was funny to us that it happened, but the way you called it with precision, you shouldn't, as a fan, you should not be able to do that, bro. Like that's too predictable. As a coach, that's sad that us as fans can predict game planning week to week.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow. So the vibes I'm getting now is that y'all ain't optimistic. That's I'm gonna be honest with you. The vibes that I'm getting is y'all ain't really optimistic about this talent that Hugh Freeze has and his ability to coach it.
Well, that's what we're not optimistic about. His ability to coach. We're worried about that.
So if that's the case, if that's the case, we just gonna get this more of the same that we got last year, but maybe 2 more wins. So basically, we're gonna be a 7-win team. That's what it sounds like.
Well, I'm optimistic that he'll make better decisions just because he's seen how those decisions played out this year. So, like, I don't believe that he'll make the same mistakes over again.
Okay.
And also, I feel like this team looks a little bit more like the roster setup is a little bit more kind of what he wants to coach. So I think that the game plan will be a little bit different, right? I said before, like he was kind of handcuffed to Jarquez. Not that Jarquez is a bad player, it's the best player we had, but we all know he doesn't want to turn around and hand the ball off 25 times a game.
True,
right?
True.
So now, you got this array of receivers. You got a new quarterback room. I feel like he's just gonna kind of go and come into his own as an offensive coordinator and call the games the way he wants to call them. And I think that'll result in more wins. As far as talent, I feel like we had the talent last year, right? Like I am one of the people who didn't believe we needed another quarterback, didn't believe we needed much on the O-line, didn't believe we needed much in the receiver room. We just needed to fix how we were going about game planning and situational management.
Quarterback. So, the only part I disagree with you is the quarterback.
That's the only part. Yeah. I mean, I get it.
Maybe in left tackle, because Percy Lewis was not the answer at left tackle.
Right. I mean, I get it. I especially get it about the quarterback, how it looked, but realistically, statistically, he played well enough for us to win more than 5 games. And better play calling, situational management, we win more than 5 games.
Agree. I agree. No, I wholeheartedly agree with you.
I agree with that. But my problem is the reason why I'm worried is because if you know Hugh Freeze relies on natural talent to get him through. He doesn't rely on his scheme to push him in and to push him past that threshold. So he relies on a player's natural ability to go up and win those jump balls or something like that. His scheme is very predictable. And what I'm hoping next year is that like you said, he has the pieces, so it's no excuse.
Not at all.
I'm hoping next year that he changes his scheme up a little bit more. Like the throwing the ball every first down, bro. Like everybody in the stadium knew at one point you was just gonna throw the ball. It's gonna be a start route on the outside, first down. It became predictable.
Right.
So hopefully next year he's not as predictable as he has been in the past. On top of his situational play call, because a lot of times, like you said, Ted, I felt like we had the roster a lot last year. It was just down the line. He called a lot of things, and like Nick said, it was the quarterback a lot. But as a coach, you should have known not to put a guy with that talent and that skill set in those situations.
True.
Okay, man. This. I don't know how to feel now. I don't know how to feel.
I'm gonna tell you the reason I'm optimistic though.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with the quarterback. Well, it has to do with the quarterback, but not really. Year 1, the guy told us that he didn't have any receivers.
Okay.
Right. We saw what kind of offense he put on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Quarterback threw for 1,700 yards.
Yep.
Year 2, he goes out and gets the receivers. I think everybody can say that despite not winning more games than we did in year 1, the offense looked better in year 2. He added 1,000 yards.
Outside of the fumbles, I agree.
Yeah, outside of the turnovers, he added 1,000 yards through the air.
Mm-hmm.
Had a 1,200-yard back.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if he's telling me that, like, his words, I'll always take Hugh Freeze for his words. Hey, I need to find a quarterback that's not going to throw the ball to the other team. Clears out he didn't do it, but his entire quarterback rooms gets cleared out. Mm-hmm. He goes to get 3 of his guys. I have to believe that whoever he chooses to start is going to be maybe 500 yards better than the last quarterback.
Okay.
Right? Because when he says that, he's proven that, like, hey, I didn't have any receivers. I got some receivers. Look what I put on the field. I don't have a quarterback. I went out here. I got 3 quarterbacks. I'm optimistic that he's going to put better results on the field.
I understand where you're coming from with that. I don't think his first year at Auburn, the receiving room was as bad as people wanted to make it out to be.
No,
I'm not going to sit here. I don't think the receiving room was that bad. I'm not going to sit here and say that.
Talent-wise, I don't think they were that bad, but I think experience-wise, right? It's no coincidence you go get a 5th-year senior at receiver, he almost gets 1,000 yards.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Especially in first year, you think about some of the things he was complaining about. He was saying like receivers missing their landmarks, right, on passing plays. So that's a big thing in an RPO system. If you're supposed to run a 10-yard curl, you cut it off at 7. My quarterback's throwing it at 10. On TV, it looks like, hey, he's just overthrowing the ball. It's easy to blame that on the signal caller when the receiver is just not getting there. You know, in this system, quarterback's throwing to a spot. He's not throwing to a wide open man. So when you get a receiver in KLS who's experienced, been playing a long time, he doesn't make those mistakes.
Yeah, and KLS was like Keon Coleman for Peyton Thorne when he was at Michigan State.
Right. So now I'm looking at, you get Eric Singleton, who's a veteran. Gotta think Cam Coleman with experience is going to get better. Perry Thompson's coming along. Malcolm Simmons.
Horatio Fields. Still
right. And you get more experienced quarterbacks or quarterbacks that you want, right?
Yeah.
Man, I got to be optimistic that this offense is going to look better. I got to.
I did a whole show about it. I did a whole show about how I felt that this offense would be a top 10 offense next season. I did a whole show about it. That's why I'm optimistic about it, because I look at what he did in the portal. He went out and got Jackson Arnold day 5 of the portal open. You had a guy, Malik Murphy, who came to Auburn and was ready to commit. And you told him, hold on, let's see what happened next. And then you went out the next day and signed the dude that you wanted.
I was a little upset about that too.
I was too.
Until Kentucky passed on them. Then I was like, maybe something we don't know.
I'm still mad about it because I think Malik Murphy that dude. I think he that dude. I think the thing, like DC from Auburn Addicts, shout out to DC from Auburn Addicts. The thing he said is Hugh Freeze is a board guy. So maybe Malik Murphy wasn't as sharp on the board as he wanted him to be. But that's maybe the reason why he ended up going with Jackson Arnold. But here's the thing, though. Just looking at the moves they made, you went out and got the quarterback first. That was literally the first person you signed. Next, you go out and get, I think you got a couple of defensive guys. So the defensive room shored up. But then you go out and get the number 2 guy in the portal. Well, who he was the number 1 guy before Mateer entered. But you go get Eric Singleton out the portal. Right. So basically, you go get a KL-esque type guy to come in and try to reproduce what happened last year. It's more the fact that the quarterback in this offense, like I look at it like this, Jackson Arnold is not going to have to be perfect in this offense. He's going to have to be good enough.
Right. He's going to have to be accurate. Let's just call it what it is.
He's not even going to have to be accurate in his offense. He's just going to have to be just able to throw it up in the vicinity of these guys, and those guys will go get it.
That's for the big plays, but you got to realize, like Tess was speaking to earlier, this is an offense that's predicated on throwing the ball in spaces.
Yeah. How many times last year did KLS or Rivaldo Fairweather? How many times these guys made some of the most weirdest catches that we've ever seen because the ball wasn't accurate? It wasn't where it was supposed to be. They were where it was supposed to be, but the ball wasn't where it was supposed to be.
You want to live on that though?
Exactly.
No, you don't want to live on that. You're right. You don't want to live on that.
And Nick, you got to also think though, when they was critiquing their body to make those catches, a lot of times that cut us from a big game a touchdown to a big game. Like outside of that Fairweather catch where he made an incredible second effort to get into the end zone, a lot of times with KLS, he made plays and had to critique his body, and instead of catching it in stride for a touchdown, it was just a big game. So that's the difference.
Yeah,
touchdown win games. So,
but let's look. Okay, and I know. Let's look at all the quarterbacks over Hugh Freeze's time as him being a guy, as being what we consider to be an offensive genius.
Right.
Brad Kelly was probably the most accurate quarterback he had. Right. Bo Wallace was not that accurate. Malik Willis was not that accurate. Well, yeah, no, Malik Willis was not that accurate, but he was good.
He was accurate on long balls. He was accurate on long.
He was accurate with the deep pass. Hank Brown. I would probably say Hank Brown was probably, besides Holden Gardner, was probably one of the most accurate guys.
I actually agree with that.
I
agree with that. And he didn't give him a chance.
He didn't play.
Yeah, he didn't.
You know what I'm saying?
Because he was.
I would love to have Hank Brown in this quarterback room right now.
I would too. I wouldn't be mad at it.
As much as I say this, I do not hate Hank Brown. I just think that Hugh Freeze and this staff they recruited him to play at Liberty, to be the quarterback at Liberty, not in the SEC. And as much as I hate to say this, after that first half of the Arkansas game, I feel proved my point. You didn't see Hank Brown no more the rest of the season as QB2.
No, I don't think he was ready then. But I think he's a guy who could have been developed into a pretty good quarterback.
Exactly.
We put a plug. I really do think we put
I think whoever gets the job just gotta trust it, bro. Like all the pieces have to kind of work together. The receivers have to be where they need to be. Protection has to hold up. And the quarterback has to trust the plays. Because a lot of times what happened last year, I think a lot of what we saw from Peyton Thorne was he just didn't trust it. Like either it was I'm gonna tell you a play that comes to mind. It sticks out like a sore thumb.
Okay.
It was during the Cal game. And it was after who did the breakdown of the Cal game? Aaron Murray.
Yeah.
Aaron Murray with the all 22 footage. He did the breakdown. I think it was the second pick that he threw. Right. It was like, I want to say Cam Coleman ran a clear out route, left sideline. KLS was running a crossing route. Yeah. Right. And he pointed out, he's like, all Peyton Thorne has to do is rip this ball right now. Cam Coleman is carrying the safety. He's carrying the corner.
Middle of the field.
The middle of the field is wide open, but you gotta trust it. You're not going to see him open. You just got to know that this is where I want to go to the ball. Let this ball go at this spot. Right? He doesn't. He hesitates. By the time he sees that this guy's open, the defense sees that he's open as well. He decides to throw it, and it's a pick. Right?
Yeah.
A lot of that happens is because you threw a pick six on the first already. And maybe you got hit. Maybe the receiver wasn't where he's supposed to be, but that makes quarterbacks hesitate. So, like, whoever he picks as this quarterback and whatever receivers he's put on the field, they all have to be on the same page. That is mostly what I saw this year. Is like it took them a while to get on the same page.
That is a very accurate statement. But I would say, to Peyton Thorne's defense, I would say, for one, he looked kind of he looked scary.
Nah, in his defense, it looked like somebody was telling him his reads.
That too, but he looked scary in the pocket, and it looked like Peyton Thorne was thinking the game through, but they weren't on the same page with him. Sometimes the receivers weren't on the same page with what he was seeing.
Facts.
Sometimes, because in that same Cal game, if I'm not mistaken, he threw Cam Coleman. I think Cam Coleman broke off a route too soon, and if he would have just kept with the 9 route, it would have been a touchdown. He threw the 9. He threw the 9, but Cam Coleman broke it off, and then he was like, "What are you doing? Like, keep going."
Yeah.
Like, so I feel like that was part of it as well too, not being on the same page with what your receiver's doing. He was a freshman receiver. That's his first year there. There's a lot of hype around him. So,
absolutely.
I mean, would you expect him to understand that in his second game of playing collegiate football?
No. But this is why you go get a KLS. That was the whole point of it.
Exactly. Right. And an Eric Singleton. That's why you go get an Eric Singleton to pair with, and a Horatio Fields. That's why you go get those type of guys.
Now Cam Coleman has learned.
Yeah, he's gonna take the top off next year.
He knows.
You got another year.
He knows the nuances of the game now. He knows, hey, if I got one arm out here, I probably just need to go down.
Exactly.
The quarterback doesn't know I'm hurt.
Exactly.
Like, it's little things like that experience just teaches you, man. And I think he's just. I think with that experience, it should look a little bit better. Hopefully, it does.
That's a great question. This is a great question right here for Rob. He said, why do other teams fix their problems and start winning? Why does it take Auburn so long to get it together? Something is going on at Auburn that we don't know.
They've been asking that question for 20 years now.
Maybe it's called boosters. I'm just maybe. Shout out to Tight, man. Tight said I'm prepared to move forward with Hugh Freeze with 5 wins. Yes, sir. Let's move forward. Shout out to Tight, man. If y'all just want it to be entertained, go subscribe to Tight Sports, Alabama Football Megacast. Very entertaining. Let's see. It's me. On the way AU going to playoffs. Get out of here, bro. Stop that. It's me. It's coming, bro. Trust me. If we lose 4 games, someone has to get injured. This is a great question. This is an interesting topic. With the talent, if this roster is to stay healthy throughout the season, can this team be a playoff team this year? And I was going to talk about this later on in the week, but let's get into it a little bit while we go through some more. Quick, just a yes or no. We don't have to get into it. Do y'all think if this roster stays healthy, is Auburn can Auburn be a playoff contending team this year? Yes or no, Marcus?
Yes.
Tez?
Yes.
All right. Okay. He better get it right with coaching and game management, because last year, yes, it was very ridiculous. Shout out to Auburn dad. JT said we were tanking college football. What we were taking to get
for real.
We were taking to get the number one overall pick, number 1 overall recruiting
class.
We still ended up with number 6. I just want a coach as good as Bruce Pearl on the football team. Hey, that's
a difficult ask, bro.
That is a difficult ask.
Yeah.
Right now, man. Shout out to Bruce Pearl and the Auburn men's basketball team. Yes, sir. Chevelle had the number 1 defense and went 13-0 in the SEC and didn't get a chance to play for national championship. I don't know what it is, but the committees don't like. You talking about 2014? Okay, cool. Auburn. Let's see. Connie said it's his ability to coach is the problem. Connie, shout out to Connie. Shout out to Connie, man. Shout out to her.
She's right though.
Hey, everything she's saying, I'm not disputing it. Everything she's saying. It's hard to be optimistic when the past 3 years I've been optimistic and
Yeah.
I feel you know what? That is the sentiment in the Auburn family and the community. Like every year you see what happens in recruiting. You like, man, this is gonna be a good season, man. It's probably gonna be, but you gotta separate the real from what actually going on the field. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hugh Freeze may be a great recruiter, but have we seen him be a great developer and a great leader of guys on the field yet? Interesting question to have. And as a coach, Connie, that's a big problem. That is a big problem. That's a big problem. It's time to look the part. Yeah. Yes. Talent is not an excuse anymore. It is not, Auburn dad. You are correct, man. There's too much talent going on around here, man. It wasn't last year either. That's the thing, man. The talent, like the whole excuse that we were saying about talent, I just never understood that. I just never understood it.
It's the coach, and it's just no excuse no more. It's just no excuse, period, this year. And if he can't coach, we gonna blast him for it. The Auburn fan base will blast him for it. Yeah, if he gets in the red zone and he's trying to depend on just because we have the receiver room that we do, don't get into the red zone and just try to pass the ball every play, bro.
True.
I think you'll see a lot of that anyway. I think you'll see a lot of fade routes to the back.
If it ain't working,
I think you're gonna see a lot of Jackson Arnold
running the ball.
Running the ball in the red zone.
I mean, I'm not against that, but when you got Cam Coleman, who's 6'3", when you got Horatio Fields, who's 6'4", when you got Eric Singleton, who ain't number 5'10", 5'11", but can go up and get the ball. I mean, I'm throwing that thing up to him. Let him go make some athletic plays. That's what the way, and that's the problem though, because we ranked dead last in red zone efficiency this past season at 78.08% in the red zone.
True.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Run the football.
Jarquez Hunter. And maybe that number, if that number peaks up, let's just say that number peaks up 5 to 7%. Does Auburn win 7 games? You in the red zone. If you can go from 78% to 83, 82%, 83%. Does Auburn win 2 more games?
Oh yeah, you saying if it picks up like
if that
okay, I got what you're saying.
Yeah, if that percentage go from 78 to 83, does Auburn win 2 more games?
Yeah,
I think so. I'm trying to
rock with it. Auburn Dad
87.
Auburn Dad said, I feel Hugh has had too many iron in the fire. Just coach and call plays.
Yeah.
Which comes to the next question from Connie. He says, or recruit and get a real OC. Go talk about this later on, man. But this is actually gonna be tomorrow's topic. Mm-hmm. Should Hugh Freeze just take the CEO method and get a primary play caller OC?
Yes.
We'll talk a little bit more about it tomorrow. Just tease y'all the show for tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. King Richard said, "This is real talk." Yes, it is. We try to be real over here around the water cooler, man. We appreciate y'all so much, man. He stuck to the running game against Kentucky and we won. He even said he wanted to start throwing the ball, but decided not to. Rodney Williamson, Mr. Williamson, I tell you this: if you go back to that Kentucky game and you look, I cannot remember the dude's name, the backup quarterback for Kentucky. He came in the second half and he played the full second half. He went 0 for 6 in his first 6 passes in the second half. If he was any type of passing threat, Jarquez Hunter would not have ended up with 278 yards rushing in the game.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Nick, you proved that theory. You proved that theory like 2 or 3 times last year. As soon as he get down by 7, he started getting nervous.
Exactly. He would not.
Yeah.
Dude, Brock Vandegrift did not play in that second half of the Kentucky game. If there was a passing threat in that second half, you definitely would have saw Peyton throw the ball a lot more than what he did. And Jarquez Hunter would not have had 278 yards rushing in that game. Look at what Al Borges did with Jason Campbell. We need a coach. That 2003 to 2004 jump, Jason Campbell, bro. Woo.
Yeah.
What does DC say? He ended up being a first round draft pick because of that.
Yeah.
That's coaching, man. That's coaching. Let's see. Auburn Dad said he needs to say, I need to run the dang ball inside the red zone instead of trick plays or go with 3 passes.
Say that.
We all feel the same. It's amazing how we all think the same. It's amazing how we all feel that way.
That's sad. That's sad. That's sad. Nick,
Freeze is supposed to be a seasoned coach. He acts like it's his first year.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if your deficiency is that glaring to the fan base, that's sad.
This should be the year it all comes together. He has what he wants, where he wants them. This is the season that it all comes together. I kind of feel like I feel where you're coming from with that.
I think next year.
I kind of feel like Fresh Bowl knows. I think 2026 is the year that they actually try to make a run for the playoffs. I think this year they just try to win 8-9 games this year. I think that's what Auburn Dad said Nick Hugh has a type at certain. Oh, you got another right here. Hugh has types, and his QB type has to be able to run. Yeah, that's true. Murphy wasn't mobile. Yeah,
no, he wasn't.
Not at all. Very, very, very field general-esque quarterback.
But before we get, that's what makes me feel like he tells the quarterbacks the reads. Because if I'm telling you, if that's not open, pull that down and run. And I need you to be able to do that. If that read right there ain't there, you need to be able to tuck the ball and get up out of dodge. And if he don't have a quarterback that can do that, it's like with Hank Brown. Hank Brown couldn't pull the ball and get up out of dodge quick enough. Mm-hmm. And that's why he didn't want to deal with Hank Brown.
Wow.
Hank Brown at least could pull the ball and get up out of dodge. That's one thing he could do. He might fumble, but he can get up out of dodge.
You got it. I think you got a point, Marcus. I think you got a point there. I think you got a solid point there. That's actually pretty interesting because when you think about it, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. All right. I see what you're saying. PT didn't make quick decisions.
Yeah, he did.
I think he did.
When he did, he threw picks.
Yeah. Now, sometimes when he knew what he was doing with the football, he made pretty good throws.
The problem is a lot of the problem was like everybody else knew where he was supposed to go with the football. You know what I mean? Like when we say he put his quarterback in bad positions, like he really did. Like
he did.
Yeah. If you think about the Oklahoma game, that last pick, right? That cost us the game. We've talked about this play ad nauseum, right?
A lot.
but truth be told, you know, 3rd and short, 5 wide, they've seen that before.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like they were just picking on Peyton Thorne. Britt Venables is like, okay, this is where they like to go with the ball in this situation.
Yep.
Right? Yep. We're going to bait them. They didn't bait Peyton Thorne. They baited Hugh Freeze in that offensive play call.
Thank you. Because that linebacker took a jab step and just fell right into the pass.
That was a case of a defense being
a
step ahead of an offense, play calling, everything.
Yeah. Predictable.
The quarterback came back. The quarterback hiked the ball and threw it exactly where he was taught to throw it. If you get this read, this linebacker steps up, I'm letting this ball fly. He did everything he was supposed to do.
I'm gonna tell you this, and the Tuesday after that game, if you go back and look, Peyton Thorne went on. I want to say it was the next round. He went on the next round and explained that play to the T of what he saw and what he was supposed to do.
Yeah,
he explained it to the T. And I said, and we was in a group chat, and I said I had no problem with the play call because of the pre-snap read. He read it correctly.
Yeah, think about how many times that happened. Maybe was it the Missouri game when they came out like in the cover 3, and then the linebacker kind of peeled off.
Mm-hmm.
Think about how many times on first down when he was throwing a stop route or a curl route, but the DB just sitting on it already.
Yeah,
he gotta throw it inaccurate just for for the receiver to even have a chance to make a play on the ball.
Right. Yeah. It's a lot of it was on play calling, man. A lot of it is on play design, play calling. That is what's got to get better.
Agree. Bubba, shout out to Bubba, man. Bubba in the chat, what's going on, Bubba, man? He said on the Cam play, you talking about Cam was just loafing. No misunderstanding there. Ooh, okay. Kermit Solos, what's up, my guy? What's going on, y'all? What's going on, Kermit, man? Hope everything going on well with you, my guy. Appreciate you coming around, chilling with us, man. Bubba came back and said, man, at Auburn, I can outrun Murphy in country shoes. I ain't gonna say he's slow, but he just don't like to run the ball. That's all I'm gonna say. He's a field journal. He gonna sit back there and try to dissect the offense because he can definitely escape the pocket. I've seen him do that. I ain't gonna say he that slow, Bubba, but come on, man. King of the comments, Travell said he still is the old Miss Hugh trying to win on talent. That's an argument that you can have. That's definitely an argument you can have there.
I think we'll see that in the upcoming years. These next years, we'll be able to tell that right now. Because this year coming up, he has to coach.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't no winning on talent. He has to show us something that on X's and O's for us to be like, yeah, that's that offensive guy we hired. Like Ted said earlier, we got to see X's and O's this year. Either he gonna call the plays or he gonna get somebody to call the plays. We need to see some X's and O's.
Agree.
All right, so is there a SEC team that made the playoff that we are more talented than?
That we're more talented than? An SEC team that we're more talented than?
Yeah.
So Texas made the playoffs, Georgia made the playoffs, Tennessee made the playoffs. I'm gonna say this. I think Texas's defense is probably one of the best defenses in the country. Definitely top
Tennessee.
I think
we can beat Tennessee. I
was gonna say I think we match up pretty well with Tennessee. And I'll say this. I think we can match up well with Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
In the talent department.
Yeah.
I think we can. I think because if you look at that game, let's just be honest. If you look at that Georgia game, going into the fourth quarter on that fourth down play, we all still trying to understand what happened there. Auburn was only down by 10 points?
Right.
Going into the fourth quarter, and you are on their side of the 50, driving the ball with a chance to go score.
Mm.
If if on that play you convert that first down, which was the first play of the first quarter of the fourth quarter, if Auburn converts that and Auburn goes down and score, you're looking at a 4-point game, 4-point game with presumably 11 minutes left. What type of energy would they have put behind the defense for them to go out and maybe not get a 3 and out, but maybe just, only let one first down happen and then get off the field and then the offense goes back and get the ball? Like, right. I'm just saying it's very hypothetical. Please believe it's very hypothetical. But I'm just saying, like, you look at how the game was going. Auburn had a chance.
I'm just trying to get an idea of where we think we fall in the SEC in terms of just pure talent on our roster.
We got Auburn pure talent on the roster. Auburn has to be at least top 7, bro. Got to be top 8.
So this
year coming up. Yeah.
Oh, this year coming up.
I say 2, like at least 2, 1 or 2.
No, I think Auburn top 8. I think Auburn is 8 or better. Got to be, because if you let's look at some of the other. I think Georgia's still gonna bring back some talent. I think Tennessee's probably gonna still bring back some talent. People gonna probably say those rosters are more talented because they won more games, and then of course they made the playoff. I think Texas probably will end up being a little bit more talented. Do you think Ole Miss will be more talented than Auburn?
No.
Nah.
I think they senior class. A lot of their senior class when they get moving.
Okay. Do you think Texas A&M or LSU will be more talented than Auburn?
Nah.
Not from what I've seen. Okay. It depends on what they put on the field.
Okay. Yeah. So far, out of those teams that we just named, well, I named 3 that potentially could possibly be more talented or just as talented as Auburn.
Right.
Are there any other teams that you could think of? Mississippi State?
I would just say Georgia because they just acquired those them boys from USC.
Zachary, the Branch.
Yeah, them boys, they ball. I say Georgia. Yeah. And it's really tough for me to put anybody else over because it's just like Alabama gonna take a hit.
Alabama's still a talented team.
But they're gonna take a hit.
Just because they got a lot of stuff leaving, they still got a lot of talent there. And let's not mention they just had the number 2 and number 3 recruiting class in the country as well.
Yeah.
So
I think Alabama gonna take a hit though.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, like, I think, like, okay, if we got Texas, so what I think I said, Texas, Georgia, Alabama, it's debatable up in there. When you start getting down to Tennessee, I think top to bottom, our roster is right there with them.
Okay.
Right. So if we talking about 4th or 5th most talented team in the SEC, then that's the kind of results I want to see next year. As far as how we finish, I want to be right around. Of course, I want to make the playoffs, but if we right around that South Carolina, Alabama level where we're a 3-loss team, and we're in that conversation of what about Auburn? Look at their schedule, and they looking over our strength of schedule and who we beat as possibly can get in the playoffs. I think that's where we need to be. I think we have the talent to be there.
I agree with that, Ted.
Not a bad, I don't doubt that at all. I agree with you there. But so let's say this. So do we think is Auburn the 5th best by talent wise? Is Auburn the 5th best team in the conference?
No more than 5.
I'll say 4. Well, hold on. No, you said. So,
hold
on. So I say
Florida got talent coming back too, bro.
True.
So
you got to look at the twos, really. I mean, the starters, okay, but like the depth, the twos. What do our twos look like?
I like Georgia. I give you Texas. After that, I'm kind of hard pressed on putting anybody above Auburn, bro. I feel you with Florida. I take that back. I put South Carolina up there.
And a lot of why I think our roster is so talented is because how those defensive freshmen played last year.
Yep.
And you're bringing them back for another year, and you adding more talent to that group. I just think that side of the roster is just.
And your offensive line got a lot of experience last year too, bro.
True.
Like you just plugging in a little, like probably 1 or 2 pieces, but your offensive line coming back veteran. And then you got a receiver who had a breakout freshman year. Then you got some more guys that you got. It's hard pressed putting somebody above it.
So I think that's what the fans want to see. Just play up to the talent. If we the fourth, fifth best talent team, then we should be right around that area when we finish. Right.
I feel you on that. Like if the talent says like if we can agree that Auburn is okay, so let's just say this: Auburn is at least top 6 in the conference in talent per schedule. If Auburn is a top 6 team in talent per schedule, I mean per roster, then that means that Auburn should at least be. If you look at the top 6 teams in the conference this past year, I think they all won 9 games or more. If I'm not mistaken.
3-loss team.
Exactly.
Right?
So that's what we should be. We should be there.
Yep.
All right. I got you. Makes sense. Malik Willis spoiled Hugh with that running.
Mm-hmm.
I put an asterisk by Malik for Hugh. I'm talking out Ryan Applin, Bo Wallace, and Chad Kelly. That goes back to his comment here. He said, I think the development point is starting to become overstated. One botch QB decision doesn't take away from the 5 or more QBs he's developed. Just my perspective, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's a conversation that needs to be had.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna hold off on that one though, because that could be a show in itself. Bo Wallace was immobile. I was talking about his mobile. Oh, okay, y'all talking back and forth to each other. Okay, there we go. King Richard said Coach Hugh Freeze needs to be the head coach, main recruiter, CEO of roster management, and hire an OC that Hugh Freeze has no idea on how to run the Well, we tried that. We tried that with Philip Montgomery, and that didn't go too well. You know, he kind of wanted to jump in, and because I remember him saying when Philip Montgomery was hired, he said that Philip Montgomery would be the primary play caller, but he would reserve the right to jump in and call plays when he wanted to. I remember him saying that. So
Philip Montgomery turned our offense into Army.
Yep.
But we won one more game with Philip Montgomery's offense. We won one more game with Philip Montgomery's offense, though, than anything else. Tez went away. Where Tez go? Where did Tez go? We're gonna put him out. He'll pop back up in a minute. We're in the same ballpark in terms of talent with Tennessee. I still put Texas and Georgia ahead of us. They both have stacked talent longer than we have. Yeah. I think we come to the decision that Auburn is at least a top 6 talented roster in the SEC. So that's where we at. Malik Willis left off because he wasn't going to play. But he definitely bought out in that. He definitely should have bought. He bought out in that spring game when he shouldn't have. When he should have had a chance to. Cameron Miller, man, shout out to Cameron Miller, man. Welcome, Cameron. Welcome around the world, my guy. This is a playoff caliber roster. Hugh better go 8-4, better to be comfortable. Yeah. We kind of stated earlier that I think for Hugh to save his job, a bowl game is where he needs to go. He needs to win a bowl game. So if he wins 6 games and then win the 7th game in a bowl game, that's to save his job. But for the fan base to be optimistic about it going forward, we got to get 9+ wins. Got to get 9+ wins for the fan base to be optimistic about it. Talent-wise, Auburn should be in the top 4. Okay, he with you there. King Richard with you there. With the right there with you, Marcus.
Because I feel like we got the best receiving room, and I feel like our DBs ain't too shabby. Like the question mark lies with our linebacking core.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I think our question mark lines with our linebacking core. Offense, I think we solid. I feel like we probably get another tackle, but or a guard or something. But we solid. Running backs, we solid. Like
I think you need. I think with Chaplin coming in at the left tackle position, solidifying that, Dylan Wade will be back, Connor Lewis back, Jeremiah Wright is back at the guard. I think the question is going to be who's going to play right tackle. Is it going to be Too Tall, Xavier Miller, who is projected to come back, or is it going to be Mason Murphy, who you just went out and got in the portal? That's going to be the question. I think the offensive line is going to gel perfectly. Because you potentially have 4 starters from last year who weren't the problem. The interior wasn't the problem. You had a couple of little hiccups on the right tackle side with Too Tall a couple of times. But the problem has been solidified with Xavier Chaplin being placed there. So I'm looking at this offensive line saying this offensive line should be one of the tops.
See, you saying that. So that's why I got him, bro. It's gonna be hard for me to say it.
In terms of pure talent, he said he got UGA, Texas, Bama still ahead of us. So
okay,
Tennessee, Florida. So when you start saying Tennessee, Florida, South Carolina, that's when you start putting Auburn in that conversation there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. We may be the 5th or 7th best talent in the SEC. Okay, so we all saying somewhere around top 6 is where we want to be at. All right, I like that. We might have the best DB room also. I'm telling y'all, watch out for Rayon Strouder. Rayon Strouder, ladies and gentlemen. I'm jumping on the Rayon Strouder train right now.
I like him too, Nick. I read some of his measures. He's got like a 6'8" wingspan.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes. I'm telling y'all, Rayon Strouder, he's going to be the starting cornerback, one of the starting boundary corners. I'm telling you, watch this. Best wide receiver room in the SEC, not just the SEC, probably the country outside of Ohio State. But Auburn probably got, man, the potential could be there. Yeah, but Montgomery still had okay. All right. It has to be a 2009 8 wins. Can't be a 2011 8 wins. We can't get blown out by our top 2 rivals. Agreed there.
I got a question, Bubba. So now I'm just wondering this: if we split those games, right? Let's say we split Georgia, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Does it matter how we split those games?
Yes, it always does.
I think the Alabama game more than anybody.
In terms of Hugh Freeze's, I guess
Alabama
job stability,
because Alabama right now, like you spoke to earlier, Tiz, is up. It's up for grabs. That's recruiting. That's what dominance. That's what, because we all know it's a business at the end of the day. When you win and you control the state, your merchandise sell. Right. So right now you want to get that Iron Bowl win, especially next year.
And plus, optically, it looks as if I think you said this, Ted. I think you said this one point in time, or I remember somebody said this. Optically, it looks like Alabama is going through a transition right now.
That is true.
It looks like they're going through a transition, and you can kind of say that with Georgia as well too. It looks like Georgia's going through a transition. So why not try to assert your dominance in that time? Why not go out and get, which is what they're doing? They accumulated talent, but now you got to put it on the field so that other talent wants to come to your school. And now you become the big dog. So
I think that too. I think that Alabama game, splitting those. If we lose that Georgia game, that's middle of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Winning that Alabama game shows that this roster and this team is progressing.
Yeah,
because it's at the end of the year. It's like, hey, they gotten better throughout the course of the year.
You gotta also, my bad, Tiz.
No, go ahead.
I was saying you got to also think like, it's about names as well. If you lose that Georgia game, you're losing to Kirby still. If you lose to Bama, you're not losing to Nick Saban anymore. We ain't finna sit as Auburn fans. We ain't finna swallow that pill. If it ain't Saban, we ain't finna sit here and be like, we ain't taking that.
Is that a shot at Kalen LeBour?
No, I'm just saying it's realistic. It ain't no shot at him. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real. Like,
okay, all right.
Shoot at him, Marcus, man. That's allowed.
Rodney said is Wright coming back? Yes, Jeremiah Wright is coming back. Yeah. He will be back. He's back for a final year. Yes, he's there. Bubby, he answered in the question. Yeah, he thanked you for it. King Richard said, if that offensive line comes together like you think, Nick, then Jackson Arnold should be the missing piece we need to get in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. I would hope.
So based off of that statement, are you saying the offensive line was the reason why we didn't win last year?
I don't think. I don't think he's saying that. I think he's saying
because basically, if that's the case, then that means if the offensive line was stacked last year, that means that Peyton Thorne should have won more games with Peyton Thorne.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not discrediting what he's saying because I agree with him saying that if you have a solid put together offensive line, it makes the quarterback look better. Right. But this potentially is going to be the same offensive line. The only difference is, which is the major difference, of course, is the fact that you got the left tackle that's solidified.
Yeah.
So
I think that's all that's where they struggled at is tackle spots.
That is pretty big. So yeah, shout out to you, Ken Richard. I appreciate. Yeah, you got a point there. Yeah, if that's the case, then if you just add the Eric Singleton, you just add the Horatio Fields, you just add the Darrell Robinson, you just add in the Alvin Henderson, you just add in the little sprinkles on top because Auburn should be a playoff team.
But we also have to take into account that we're hoping Jackson Arnold is more accurate and has better ball time with the ball than Peyton Thorne. That's what we're assuming as well. That's the reason why you can put a comment like that.
Yeah. I'm hoping one of them is. I'm hoping is that this coaching staff going into year 3. I know we're talking a lot about Jackson Arnold, but I'm hoping that they are going to play the best option.
Exactly, Ted.
That's what I want to see. Exactly. If that is not Jackson Arnold and that's somebody else, I want to see that person on the field.
It's Deuce Knight. Let's go ahead. I know we paid Jackson Arnold all this money. If it's Deuce Knight and we have to start a freshman, let's go and do it.
I think that's where the Peyton Thorne experiment failed from the very beginning. He wasn't. You told us he wasn't the best in practice.
You did,
and you gave him the job anyway. Yep. I don't want to see that again.
That's evaluation. That's coaching.
Yeah, you can't tell me that again.
I agree with both of y'all.
That's almost a fireable offense, right?
It is a fireable.
No, Tez, this year it is. Last year he made us believe that we were not talented enough, and we bought into it. Well, we didn't buy into it, but a lot of people bought into it, so we gave him an excuse time after time. But this year, that's a fireable. It's definitely a fireable. Definitely something to be fired about.
So do we trust him this year? Do we trust Hugh Freeze's word? I mean, he's listen.
I never trusted his word.
He told us that we was going to be trash these 2 years. If we keep it a buck, he never came out and said like this team is just going to be world beaters. He's always said.
That's the difference. See, that's my problem.
But to me, that's his coaching job, though. Like
that's the problem I have, though, because if you know your team is not going to be good, or you can see that and be like, all right, my team is not going to be good, bro. One thing, I'm not going to come out here and say that. Second thing, I'm going to do my best to try to tailor my offensive game plan to what they do best. Like, find out what my players do best, and let's do that. I can lose doing that.
Yeah,
I can lose doing that. If I know my guy can't throw a 15-yard dig, I'm not gonna be throwing 15-yard digs. What do you do best? Do you throw the slant rail? Okay, let's figure out a way we can get this slant down pat. Let's make this our bread and butter play. Shout out to Coach Holly, man. Coach Holly told us when we was playing Pee Wee football, he said 28 and 29 toss is going to be our bread and butter play because we do that very well. And you know what we did? We ran that. And you know what? We won. That's what happened. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's just it's not the fact of the matter that you sitting here saying like, bro, like I'm not gonna sit out here and say, man, we're not talented enough. Okay, we can see that you need more talent. We can see that as a fan base. But your job as a coach is to get the best out of the players that you have. And then when you get the opportunity to go out and recruit a 4-star or a 5-star, then you do that. And then when if you show us that you can do this with this, that's just gonna give. If you can show you can do this with this talent here, when you get the superstar talents in here, we're gonna be like, oh my God, what are you gonna do with that? Like we expecting a lot. Like, don't sit here and tell. It's basically you telling us I can't coach this.
Right.
That's basically what you're telling us. Coach this, man. I can't do nothing with it. What?
So basically, we should hire.
So
basically, you're saying we should hire Jerry Kill.
Exactly. Look what he did with Pavia. Look at Pavia. Look at Pavia. Come on, man. This is man. The things we said about Jackson Arnold at OU, seeing ghosts and so far won't happen with this line.
Let's hope.
Yeah, I'm gonna say let's hope. That offensive line is
Let's
gonna be
hope. Hey, let's hope.
be a lot, especially with that left tackle position. It's gonna be a lot better at the left tackle position with this offensive line. Jackson Arnold, 5-star plus guy.
Right.
And I'll say this. I'll keep saying this, and I'm gonna keep saying this. Jackson Arnold did not have the bevy of weapons for consistently throughout the year last year. And you saw that. Now, if you want to talk about somebody that didn't have talent to throw to, it's Jackson Arnold last year. You know what I'm saying? That's it. But I do believe that with the array of talent that he has, that's going to be at his disposal this year to play, you will see a different Jackson Arnold. That's why I think he's gonna throw for 3,300 yards this year.
Right.
I think he do it. I think he's gonna do it, man. I think he's gonna throw for 3,300 yards this year.
Now remember, Nick, that is the all-time single season record for an Auburn quarterback. So you going on record saying that at the end of this year, Jackson Arnold will be the all-time single season passer for Auburn.
Watch this. Peyton Thorne sat out a game and a half. Peyton Thorne had 2,700 yards passing, 2,750. If he would have played that game and a half, he would have easily been a 3,000 yard passer. So are we saying that Jackson Arnold can't throw for another 300 or 400 yards per game? I mean, for the season.
I think
I'm not gonna say that at all because I know Hugh Freeze will try to make that happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what's gonna happen. Hugh Freeze is gonna force that to happen. And what I'm hoping,
it translates to wins.
Exactly. That's it.
Thank you.
Can it translate to the
Thank you, Ted. We know he finna gunsling.
This is it, man. Shout out to Connie, man. She said Hugh needs to learn how to say less.
He needs a PR person. He can use it.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Agree with you there. They I'm not gonna say that. I was about to make a joke, but it wasn't gonna be right. King of the Comment said he did tell us that Tez. I saw that at the beginning of the season, and they killed me for it. You got a point that they did kill you for it. They did kill you for it. King of the Comments, they did.
So that's what I'm saying. So if he comes out this year and says, it gives that type of energy, do we believe him?
Interesting. Bubba Campaign said that's exactly what Montgomery did. He tailored the offense to what we did well. Gap scheme run, quick passing game, QB design runs, and he got us to a bowl game with a vintage Vandy. That's the point. That's the difference, bro. That's the difference. Shout out.
So okay.
God Body in the building. What's up, God Body? What's up, man? My bad, Tez. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, okay, Bubba, to that fact, what do you think Philip Montgomery would do with this roster?
Ooh. We're talking about for this coming up season in 2025?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. I think it'll be a playoff team, especially with Jackson Arnold.
Well, I take that back. What do you think Philip Montgomery would have did with last year's roster?
He still would have had Peyton Thorne.
He would still ran the ball.
But what do we do best?
He still would have ran the ball. What we did best.
We would have went to a bowl game.
We would have went a bowl game.
We would have went a bowl game. But think about this. All right, I'll tell you this. Do you think who's a better quarterback, Robert Griffin III, or so far what you've seen from Jackson Arnold?
I gotta go with Robert Griffin.
Okay. All right. Do you think Jackson Arnold and Robert Griffin III have some of the same characteristics?
I think they like both read option type quarterbacks. I think Robert Griffin got more straight line speed and just athleticism. Okay. Arm talent, though, it's kind of tough because what I've seen from Jackson Arnold, I'll say this: Jackson Arnold has a lot more arm talent than he was able to display at Oklahoma last year. So as far as what I've seen, I got to go with RG3. But arm talent, Jackson Arnold should be up there with some of the best of the best. It's a 5-star plus quarterback.
Philip Montgomery coached Robert Griffin III his Heisman Trophy season.
That's interesting.
So I'm telling you, if Philip Montgomery is the OC with this team with Jackson Arnold, and if we can sit here and say that we're not comparing Jackson Arnold to Robert Griffin III, we're just trying to see where we can kind of see the similarities.
I got you.
You see what I'm saying? If he can get that same production or half of the production, 60% of production that he got from Robert Griffin III, Auburn is a bowl eligible team a cusp, at least on the cusp of being a playoff team. In my personal opinion.
Yeah, I could see that, but then that would, that's putting a lot of pressure on Jackson Arnold.
You're right. It is. It's a lot of pressure. Shout out to Fate 23 Blast with a backside Georgia reverse. Shout out to Remember the Titans, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. Shout out to Remember the Titans. Washington fan versus Ole Miss and LSU. You'll see the reason for my optimism. You're talking about for Jackson Arnold. Yeah, man. I did a cut up of Jackson Arnold when he first signed, man. I'm telling you, man. He can throw the ball, man. He can throw it. Okay, I got you. Okay, I get what you're saying, Ken Rich. Okay, shout out to you. I don't know what you mean by that, B Sharp, but okay. I'll try to get that, but okay.
Take that over to FS1, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Too soon.
Yeah.
I didn't agree with it, but some coaches do their scheme regardless. Saban was like that with his defense when he got to Bama. He said we need to get smarter players, not change the scheme.
That's different with defense, though. Like, to me, when you call in a defense, like, if you get players that just want to fly around to the ball and make plays, it's easy to plug them. Offense is strategy. You have to be able to read zones and read defenses, read the walk down. Like, defense, all you gotta do is read your keys and shoot the gap most of the time, or take a read step and sit back in your zone. It's not as difficult as offense to me when you calling the game.
That's a good point. That's a good point right there. That's a good point. That's a really good point.
Because that's why defenses are so universal, bro. Like, you're gonna have cover 2, cover 3, cover 4, man,
match coverage, robber coverage, rabbit in the hole. You have all that, man. It's a lot of stuff.
All you gotta do is just disguise it better.
Yeah, it's a lot you can do on defense. I agree. I see where you're coming from with that. Jackson Arnold doesn't fit his offense, in my opinion. Okay. All right, let's see. He's talking about Montgomery runs a variation of run and shoot, but I think he can make it work. I say 9 wins. So okay, I say this. If you think Jackson Arnold has a better arm talent than Robert Griffin, I would think that would probably translate in a Philip Montgomery offense. Because if you run the run and shoot, you throwing that thing around the field a lot.
That's true.
So if he's a little more accurate, if we're gonna sit here and say his arm strength is a little bit better, I think that would probably translate a little bit more in the run.
You think his arm strength is better than Robert Griffin?
I'm gonna say, RG, hey, before you say that, nigga, crazy, like
arm talent. Let's go arm talent. Let's do arm talent. Let's not start. Let's do arm talent. Let's do that.
I can see what Bubba's saying, because the RPO, when you pass out the RPO, when you do that play action, it opens up a lot of different passing windows for you versus the run and shoot. You got to instantly read those passing windows in a drop back. So, it's the timing is just different. So,
why can't we all just run the West Coast? Let's just count steps. And when we count steps, the guy's supposed to be there, and we'll just throw the ball where he's supposed to be, and he's supposed to be there. Let's just run the West Coast. If I do a 7-yard drop, you're supposed to be at your hook spot there. You're supposed to do a 12. Give me 15 to 12. And you're supposed to be at that spot after I drop it back 7 yards. Let's just do that. Let's just count steps. Let's just bring Bill Walsh back. Let's just bring Bill Walsh back, and let's just count steps, baby. Let's do it. That's how Mike Leach worked, DC. He ran regardless. That is true.
Yeah.
Is it true Mike Leach only had like 4 or 5 plays that he had on like a little card?
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. Have you ever watched any just like broken down his system?
No, I have not actually. I haven't really broken it down.
Yeah, you should watch like some cut-ups of it, man. It's simple, but it's complex. There's so many options on each play. It's genius, to be honest with you. It's genius.
Is it revolutionary? Is it innovative?
Yeah, because nobody else was doing it.
Yeah, that's right. You can mimic it, yes.
Yeah. Because nobody was doing it, but like is it just like it's all common sense when you kind of think about it?
Shout out to Hal Mom, Hal Mummy. Shout out to Hal Mummy. It would change your life. Yes, it will. That's Mike Leach's mentor. Again, before we get out of here, ladies and gentlemen, I put a poll up on YouTube today. So if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, so you know when we post. We got 14 votes, and I put on there how urgent and crucial is year 3 for Auburn and Coach Hugh Freeze. And out of the 14 people that we got so far, 86% of people said it's very urgent. So I think the fan base is sending a message to Coach Hugh Freeze, let him know, hey, this is it. This we need to see some. We need to see some progress here, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Let's see what Connie said. Connie said, do we need to send? Wait. Hold on, wait. Is that supposed to be a 4 after that send? Is that what that's supposed to be? Do we need to send 4?
No, I think she's saying, do we need to send them to the Hal Mum coaching clinic?
Yeah. Oh, do we need them to the Hal Mum? Okay. I'm about to say, do we need to send 4? I'm like, Connie.
Bubba so stupid. Bubba said he'll never run the ball again. Bubba don't want to run it now, bro.
Yeah, he'll never run the ball again. That's right.
That's facts.
Like, okay, do we need to send them there? Maybe. Coach Connie, do we need to send for Coach? Whoa, now do we need to send for him? Let me stop playing. Anyway, man, shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to everybody that came around the water cooler with us tonight, man, and rock with us here, man. Tez,
what's up, man?
Tell the people they can find you at, my guy.
Man, you can find me same spot. Let's see if we can get this here, man. Hold on. It's a lot harder than y'all think it is. Boom. Photo imagery. My website, photoimagery.com. Or you can find me Tuesdays on Sharpshooters Podcast, representing Auburn and bringing some clarity to cloudy situations over there.
Yeah.
Very true, man. Shout out to our guy Tez. Tez has become a fan favorite over here at the Water Cooler Talk Podcast. The people want Tez. The people want to see Tez, man. Like, you know what it is, man. We're gonna try to, as much as Tez wants to come over here, man. Tez is always welcome to come over here around the water cooler and rock it with us and give us his analysis on Auburn football, man. We appreciate you. Oh man, that's funny. But then right after that, this man,
you knew he was on that slide. I knew he was on that slide.
Shout out to B Sharp though, man. Shout out to B Sharp. Talk about OC was Petrino's that complex run. You know the 03 season. Was Petrino's offense that complicated run, or was he just seen as the next guy? Like, what are y'all thoughts on that before we get out of here for real?
I don't know. I think it might have been a little bit complex. I mean, look what happened the next year.
True. He was calling play.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, he is a fan favorite, man. Shout out to you, man. Marcus, what do you got to say to people before we get up out of here, boss?
Hey, man, come back, kick it with us every day. My boy Nick on. I'll be back on Wednesday.
Yes.
Then I'll be back on Friday. We turn, man. Hey, y'all be safe. Have a safe week, man. And we here.
Yes, sir, man. We appreciate y'all so much, man. Like I said, we are here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Fridays, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow. And tomorrow, y'all talked about it in the chat. We gonna discuss like we do every night, man. Should Hugh Freeze go out and get a primary play caller? Should we go get an OC? So y'all come back with the comments. We're gonna talk about it tomorrow. So y'all think about it. You got
should we or will we?
We're gonna talk about we're gonna go through both scenarios. That's what we're gonna do. So you got a little less than 20, a little over 22 hours to think about it. And we'll be back, man. So we appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us here around the water cooler, man. As always, no.
Hey, man, shout out Huggy. Huggy, where you was? Oh my guy.
What's up, Huggy Beard, man? Shout out to our guy Huggy Beard in the chat, man. War Eagle.
You heard me. That's my guy. You
know what I'm talking about, man. Shout out to Huggy, man.
Huggy, I'll give you a recap. everybody agreed that if we don't win 9 games, we all riding over to Hugh Freeze's house and evicting him personally. The entire chat agreed on it. Just scroll up, you'll see it.
Yeah, you'll see it. You'll see it. As always, before we get up out of here, man, follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Water Cooler Talk. Follow us on Facebook at the Water Cooler Talk Podcast. On Twitter, follow us on Twitter at CoolersPod23 as well. And of course, subscribe, like, and share this video. Use the hashtag WCTPod. And of course, hit the notification bell so you know when we go live, when we post polls on YouTube, and when we may start posting some shorts as well. So just hit the notification bell so you know when the Water Cooler Talk is active on YouTube. As I said yesterday, as I said, man, we'll be back tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Hope to see all of y'all back. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Everybody that comes through, we appreciate y'all so much, man. Hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button, share with us, man. Just trying to grow and trying to just bring you as much accurate information as we possibly can about Auburn football and other news that comes through in the SEC, man. If all hearts and minds are clear, fellas, as I always say, everybody, y'all have a good one. Better yet, y'all have a great one. Y'all be blessed, man. And as always, until next time, if it's the Lord's willing, one love. And as always, we out this mug. Holla!
Thanks for checking out this episode of Water Cooler Talks with your hosts, Nick Frazier and Marcus Fitzpatrick. Make sure you like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so that you never miss an episode.
But be sure, asshole.